Hello there and welcome to the second qualifying event for the ML Finals 2022. I'm AE, I'm here today with Ed. Hey Ed.
Hey, hello all. Welcome.
And we're here to bring to you a fantastic series between Elpern and IncaUna. And we're starting now. Let's get straight into it on this brand new version of Faymanville. Let's get it. Let's actually look at the map. There we go. In the north, we've got IncaUna, the beast from Romania, starting as the United States Forces. Who do we have starting in the south, Ed?
We have your favorite streamer of the week and your favorite animated emoji of the week. We have Elpern in the south with Firestorm Doctrine, Special Ops, and the good old Overwatch at this disposal map.
That sounds good to me. That sounds very good to me. But I have to say that Elpern's in up against it today because IncaUna's USF on this map, Faymanville, is a frightening prospect. He's got that fluidity of play, and most of all, he's got that big converging US rifle flanking style that is so difficult to beat.
Yeah, now that IncaUna is streaming a lot more himself, people will see his strats, Matt, and see that he's no mug with the USF. It's definitely going to be a tough battle for Elpern, but I like his choice of OKW. He didn't just, me smart, me big, me strong. Go straight for austere, like there's been the flavor of the month before. So I'm liking this OKW USF matchup. It's such a nice change from the good old Soviet austere.
It certainly is. And Elpern's got some good doctrines available. First Storm, he's got Special Operations, and also Overwatch. So we're going to see some juiciness this game, no matter what, from your boy from Sweden. This is on a newer version of Faymanville. ML, the tournament version. We just made this base in the east easier to use. Like this hedgerow is less tall, so you can see over it. These aren't fences anymore, they're just bushes, so you got a bit more maneuverability. And also in the north, it's just fences these days, no more brick walls. So if you want to play with support weapons, want to play Soviets like a basic B, you certainly can do. But IncaUna's not going to be doing any of that, Ed. He's a USF player. It's all about the rifles and the light vehicles. What's Elpern got to do to counter that? How does he counter that as OKW?
I think he's done well. He's spread out fast, got the cue ball capping, and he's really made IncaUna kind of bunch up his riflemen a lot more in the early games. So IncaUna's got a solid core and mid, but Elpern's stretched out to the extremities of the map and got munitions very early on, Matt, and that's huge for OKW, seeing that they're going to need STG upgrades on all their Volks to basically make them anything but little kittens in damage output.
Yeah, here we go. We've got a convergence of play in the centre. 3 rifles versus a Sturm, a Kubel, and a Folks. Near that ML Splat logo, using this light cover as IncaUna near his cutoff. It's been neutralised, but nothing has been taken away from him. He's got the fuel in the south for now.
Loving the shameless plug as well, Matt, with the Master League spray painted on the floor of the map, in between the Volks and the Riflemen, slugging away. So, habits
Jet
die
Set
hard.
Radio Future, bro. You gotta get on it.
Kubel doing work. Vet 1 already. Wants to really keep that alive, but he's... Oof. That was close,
Tell you
but...
what, Inca just weathered the storm there, Ed. The Kubel came in and pushed him around a little bit. But to be honest, it just incurred damage. In the meantime, his Folks and Sturm Honeys did lose out. He was using Sturms at mostly long range there. We do have Elpern now fighting to take away Inca's fuel, though. That'll be a big coup for him.
Yeah, especially when the Lieutenant's already out. This is a fast start from IncaUna. Went big on the Rifleman in the middle, and the Kubel, I think, just tipped the balance there for Elpern, and he's got that second wave approach now, Matt, where the first wave, big slugfest, but IncaUna had to retreat more, and he's got way more damaged troops. He's going to need some Marvin Gaye healing in his base soon.
Yeah, he absolutely is. I mean, look at this rifle here. It's at 50% health over 5 models. They're going to drop like flies. Meanwhile, the Lieutenant is coming up against the Folks. Will Elpern not be tempted? He will not be tempted to keep capping there. So good decision by the Swede. Well played by him.
He's seen a Von Ivan stream before, and he learned the lessons. So nice early retreat
I was
there
going to
from
say,
Elpern.
he's certainly not emulating Von Ivan. It's learning from him. It's all about risk management.
Yeah, Von Ivan's the leads the trailblazer and teaching us what we should and shouldn't do. So yeah, here we go. So Elpern already is got his tech up truck. It's getting a 4th Volk though, Matt. This is a lot of manpower investment. He's not going to be able to tech up as fast now. What do you reckon about this 4th Volk pick?
I think it's quite trendy if you're going with OKW. It always has been since the days of Talisman, to be honest, in tournament viable situations. You lose the pressure if you only have 3, because as soon as that lieutenant comes out, they have an extra men on the field, so it allows you to maintain fuel control and pressure. Rifle in jeopardy here.
Oh.
We've got 2 squads chasing. Will they go stationary? Will they pick him off? They'll need 1 more shot, Ed. 1 more will get it, and they do indeed.
There we go. First wipe of the game and the day, folks. Well played from Elpern there. Like I said, he'd given up the mid a bit to IncaUna in favour of these flanks, and he really made that old flank and shank happen there. But I don't know if you've noticed, Matt, but IncaUna just wasn't ready to tech 18 nades when the Kuba was face palming the rifleman, so really pushing it to the limit there, Elpern, and he got away with it. It's good play.
Was indeed. This is the very map. Don't forget that Elpern famously beat Lovenest when Lovenest was Seed 1 in Master League rankings back in ML2. That was in around August 2019 or 20. 20, it was 20. During that COVID spell, the blackout period in our brains, which all molds into one. It was in that vortex of despair, and he did well in it. And he finds himself... Oh, and the other change on Frame of Villa, we've bushed up the south of this house, Ed. So to be tournament viable, this house now starts at 2/3 health.
There's a lot more foliage there than there used to be, but...
It's covered in trees. It's the Jumanji house.
This is why you should always prune your vines, boys, on your house. But yeah, I like this pick as well from Elpern, man. If we just look back at his base, he's going for mechanized, straight in like a Chad. I think he just wants to end this game fast.
Well, don't forget it was a double Panzer II Luke's build that finished off Lovenest all those couple of years ago. So yeah, I tell you what, this Browning's been caught out of position. We've got Foes Grenadiers getting round the veil of fire, but the rifles are there to defend. And Elpern again with a fantastic early retreat. He's really playing the risk-reward meta of coming here very well. But IncaUna's taking advantage of that bigger reserve of micro-mechanical skill, and he's capping around the edges whilst this is occurring. We've got fuel harassment in the north.
Very impressive from Inca, because just with the use of 150 cal and spotting with the rest of his troops, he's actually making that lost rifleman squad seem not too bad, is he? It's getting on well.
We've got a use of the beach on retreat. Notice Elpern tried to crawl away for a little tiny bit from the Browning, so he certainly had it on his mind. One of those additions in the ML version of the map. Kubel goes north. Rifle is going to try and cap, it seems. A little bit dangerous for his manpower. Don't know what he's thinking. Oh, he's thinking 18-8. There we go. Oh, Puma from Elpern. He's not even going for the Lukes. He's going for the counter to the Stuarts.
No, he knew with the lieutenant on the field, he probably knew there's going to be a fast Stuart, and IncaUna's gone straight in for that. And he's dropping in the paratroopers, Matt. This is what I think could turn the battle here, because them pumped up with 2 M1919 machine guns really are hard for Volks to deal with. Despite Elpern's good early game, this is where you're going to see the downside of mechanized. You can have no indirect unless you save ion years to get a Stuka.
Yeah, it's almost worth backtacking for an ISG, and people may laugh at me, but as this game progresses with the long open sightlines of Fame and Villain, it being a stubby map, it's very short and stubby. It's perfect for indirect fire. It's a situation.
Leagues basically cover you up until their base, so feels like a little howitzer almost. But yeah, it's bold choice with the Puma, not even bothering with the Lukes. But he, like I said, good simple read that he knew that Stuart was probably on the cards, and he went for the Puma without seeing the Stuart though. So.
Oh, he's going in. He's got prioritised vehicle on. He's going in. This guy is feeling leery. He wants to be wary, though, of the bazooka AT combo, and indeed he is. Maintaining fuel control of his one fuel point on the road to Panzer IV-J, which is one of the most costly medium tanks in the game. 310 fuel required in total over all the teching, etc. But he's on his way there.
Yeah, no second truck yet from Elpern, so he might be saving some manpower. You never know, he may get Overwatch and just poop out the GLI. They have been very strong in the last few patches. But almost respect to IncaUna. Sorry, but I was just finished the no bar finders from IncaUna, so he's doing all of this without the MLG vision from that unit.
Yeah, good shot by the Stuart there, taking out 2 Foch Grenadiers. We did see a nice jump in and out of the house by Elpern on his advance. He's being cute, he's being clever, and he's been cautious when he needs to be as well. So this is just, in general, very good tournament play from Elpern.
It's what you find with, you know, Stu, Elpern, like, it seems to be a Swedish treat. They're very risk averse, usually always retreating early, because they'd rather not bother with the hellacious retreat paths. But one thing... Oh, sorry, don't want to interrupt the steward and the...
Yeah, the tango in, but we do have the bazooka ruining the tango. Wanting to make it a bit of a threesome there, and 3 to crowd, bazooka forced away. Stern Pioneers can't neutralise the fuel in the west thanks to the M1990s. LMGs upgraded for the paratroopers, the ones that Ed was warning us about.
Yeah, look, Elpern living the 53 munitions dream per minute, but just look at the VPs, Matt. It's gone really bad for Elpern in terms of VPs. Despite
worried about this coup ball, and it's taken out by combo there from the 18-8 of the rifleman. Stuart at max range, Kubel obliterated.
Yeah, big nope there from the Stuart. Did not let that Kubel get away. Normally the small target size gives it a good favor whilst on the road, but no dice today. So it's going to be a glorious 5 fuel for Elpern when he sucks it up with the salvage.
We're going for Stuka next from Elpern. Nice, so he is just going for it. That's a fantastic choice from him.
He needed indirect, yeah, and I think
it's all on this first volley. He's got to really time it, and he's got to make sure it counts, because the first volley is the surprise attack.
Yeah. Does help to have a couple of Von Ivan-esque MG34s in your build, though, to get that suppression going, Matt, and then hit him with the old Stuka on the retreat path, and it gives them that horrible choice. You know, like a knight, where it puts you in check, but also puts your queen under pressure. The MGs and the Stuka combo is a bit like that. You have to choose whether you're going to retreat back into a load of firestorm or stay in the suppression.
Or simply plant some mines. He's got 150 munitions. He does need some flank protection, though. You're right, Ed. And how are we going to see that? Meanwhile, IncaUna is not in a flanking position. He's just trying to hard muscle himself back onto the map at the moment, because Elpern was about to cap double fuel. Here's the Stuka.
That's a very forward Stuka, yeah.
First volley could be a good one. He's got repairing vehicle crews. Here's he going for it. IncaUna hears it. He splits it in 2v2 fashion, but how's he sent the rockets? He sent them along for the Stuart. He did hear it repairing, but unfortunately, he went the long way to the Stuart.
Yeah, I think, yeah, pretty much. Don't like to say it, but a swing and a miss.
Stuart's going in. He doesn't concentrate on the Stern Pioneers. He could have got a kill there if he was lucky. Stern Pioneers are able to survive. But and here we go. We got MG34. So Elpern's making all the right build order decisions. It's like Ed's in his ear right now, just telling him what the fans would expect based on the meta. We're looking at the textbook. Seems you need a bit more substrate of crowd control after your indirect fire. We need an MG34, Elpern.
In Go2, like you know how they have in Dota and other big games where they got a coach in the same room with them. Imagine that in Go2. You probably just be like, shut up and let me micro.
Jimmy, take your Adderall. Take all of it right now. We need maximum Adderall.
I know I've lost 3 Volks, but I'm still going in. But yeah, good retreats here from Elpern. Nearly got blapped by the Stuart because he was on the wrong side of green cover. That was nasty.
Yeah, it's low health on those Folks Grenadiers, and there's no Stern Pioneer healing. Well, there soon will be, actually. He's going to have to go back the hard way. Fuel management, Elpern, having gone 2 vehicles from Mechanized, is at 94, so he's a long way from Panzer IV. IncaUna may be able to go for a vanilla Sherman when he gets his major next, and he might have a little bit of a window of opportunity in 4 or 5 minutes' time.
And he's back-tech to bars. He's got the double munitions now. Map's being painted blue a bit. Elpern's having to cap up the mid VP. And he's got hold of the center one. Good push off there of the, the 50 cal. And IncaUna, Elpern, that's just so evenly matched, Matt. This is going to be a nice slobber knocker we've got in store for us, I think.
Yeah, Elpern's always had this up his sleeve, the ability to play out of his skin and give the very best tussle, and he's doing that just now because IncaUna counts himself increasingly amongst the very best, at least the top 7 in the world. Elpern's playing at his level right now. We've got Folks Grenadiers joining the well. Heavy cover granted, but the M1919 still shred They're going to have a difficult retreat path. They need to be careful. Here comes the Stuka, though. Where's this volley? It looks like it's in the centre. He's trying to catch him on retreat, perhaps. Oh, he's got him!
Oh, what a hit. Stewart gets hit hard there, so that's a lot of, almost vet 1 on the Stuka map. Although it doesn't look like, you know, the MLG wiped everything strike, that was very good for veterancy, so nice shot there from Elpern. Much better second barrage.
Was health damage and, of course, vehicle damage done, so that's a big time penalty to IncaUna. It'll allow Elpern to have the pressure he needs to push back into the map. It may also give him the confidence now to deploy his Schwer Panzer headquarters in a little bit more of a favourable position, just because he has that pressure edge. It's not going to be in his base, it might be on the edge of his base, you know? He's got all this room to work with. Let's have a look.
When you put it outside your base, though, that instant regret when a couple of AT guns start firing up on it.
That's my next point. We're not going to see AT guns, exactly.
Yeah, unless he flies them in, that's his, you know, joker up the sleeve for IncaUna. Really good game, though. We couldn't have asked for a better one, to be fair, for the first game of the day. Triple cap hype for IncaUna, just showing that maturity on keeping the VP pressure on.
Yeah, maturity is a great word for it, Ed. It's those kind of love nest S plays as the Stuart comes in. The Puma backs away. He's trying to get round the house. There's no snares available because the folks Trinity is too far out of distance. Well, no, wait. There you go. He gets it off. It's the aimed shot ability from the Puma.
Quick fingers there from Elpern, and big kahunas as well to try and pull it off. Oh no, he's going to bait it.
He's just crept in with the Puma, but the lieutenant's there. He will not be able to complete the kill.
He threw a nade instead of Fausting. Oh, the old D to F change of hotkeys.
Well, nobody uses classic Ed except you, no offense. Maybe Elpern does actually, but
he's so used to Oster, he just threw a flame grenade at a goddamn tank.
But he did. But you said he had quick fingers. Maybe his fingers were too quick in the end. Stuka's lining up. Stuka's lining up. He's hearing the repairs. Maybe that's what he can hear. He's quite far forward here. I'm interested to where this is going to land. Yes! Oh, he was so close! Oh, Elpern, baby, that was epic.
Good read. Yeah, unlucky there. If you lost your Stuart like that, though, how tilting would that be for IncaUna?
That'd be amazing, I think. Oh, okay, his Schwer was very cautious. He's playing cautiously in general. We've got Obers coming out next. Haven't seen them in a tournament for a while. Good choice. That MG34 LMG will be a great counter to the Airborne. Or at least go toe-to-toe with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the tough bit of OKW where you have no healing, so you're constantly splooging out the munis for some med crates. And now you're getting into that late game where, look at all the riflemen vetted up now for IncaUna, as well as that M1919 powers, which I said would be very pivotal for Inca's success.
He got a nade. Well dodged by the Obers, but that's health damage on the Obers he can ill afford to sustain. And by the way, we do have SDGs pop in for those Obers in a second. So, of course, we do have Spec Ops chosen, which indicates Command Panther in the long run, which is good for some juicy wipes. In the meantime, IncaUna's going for the traditional M4A3 Sherman.
Slight miss setup here on the MG34 could cost Elpern big. I think that Volk's going to get away. And luckily, no nades teched from IncaUna, so MG34 kind of gets away with it there. That was a bit sloppy from Elpern. You can definitely tell the pressure's on. Oh, and this could be a wipe. If the Tommies push forward, no, they throw a grenade instead. What is this grenade action instead?
I know, folks are going to survive here. We have prioritised vehicle on the Stuart as well, so they're given a bit of a reprieve. Puma versus Stuart's getting close. Meanwhile, Faust finally comes in. No random incendiary grenade. It is indeed a damaged engine. There's the Schwer at max range, saving the Puma's bacon.
Yeah, the Volks, even though they're Vet 4 with STGs, they're not like the kind of big wipe machine that these powers with Thompsons are going to be, so it's a tough game now for Elpern. He's got to get hold of the VPs, but no, he's going to glorious blob all the way towards the Sherman.
Oh, Sherman gloriously almost gets a kill there. We're not going to have an Alpha first from Elpern, that would be silly. But he's been under triple cap pressure for the past couple of minutes. It's beginning to show. 220 now.
I don't think it would have been silly. I think double Faust there on the Sherman would have been good. Plink away with a vetted Puma in the background. A bit of a missed opportunity there from Elpern, but he wasn't to know the Stuart's not ready. It's just chilling at base without an engine.
We've got to call it out, Ed. The Stuka has been unlucky, but also strategically a strange decision. Because if you're not up against support weapons, as the Sherman finds the Puma, it's going to be done for. Goodbye. Smokes him out, actually.
Twice.
Nope.
Good shot through the smoke there from the Sherman. IncaUna really turned this on since about 10 minutes, and that's what I feel, Matt. With this map, it just, I know it's the meta, but it does favor the battle grouper with an ISG, maybe a flak half track to control.
When doesn't it? I mean, we all saw Isilda won that big ML4 tournament last year. Was it ML5 actually? The finals 2000 and it was anyway. He won a lot of tournaments, and he was using the flak half track as OKW for really good crowd control. Using this house here and this bush also to kind of use it to navigate in between the routes and route his opponent.
Yeah, it feels a bit like a MOBA when you win lane but lose game. And Elpern got the first wipe, but still gets wrecked in the end, sadly. But nice. Oh, takes a crushing for his work, but he has snapped the Shermanator.
Oh, the Sherman gets the kill with the gunner there. The machine gunner picks up the kill. Meanwhile, the Stern Pioneers with the Panzerek cannot vanquish the Sherman, and it's all win for IncaUna.
1 HP is all you need, and the third Stuka strike, Matt, got absolutely no damage or kills, so didn't vet to vet one.
What's he doing? Elpern's lighting his phone screen. He's going to the meat grinder, hoping for a random Faust. It's looking over, Ed, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the Stuka was potentially a little meme too far against a very competent USF player in IncaUna. I don't think you can afford this downtime.
Let's not be after timers, because at the time, it felt like an okay decision, didn't it? Let's be all honest. You asked for indirect fire. You even asked for the Stuka. Elpern thought the Stuka was a good idea.
I was more along the back tech line with you because you get healing as well. But I just think mechanized is not very viable. It's a problem with the whole faction.
Oh no! Look at this war crime on the house. Like, well, the Obers really. I don't really have any sympathy for them whatsoever, to be honest.
They were face to face, I wouldn't lie to you. Against the rifle would just pop them in the head with a BAR, yikes. But yeah, Elpern, at least now, I think he's just playing for time, Matt, and to think, right, how best to do this another time. So it feels like IncaUna's about to wrap this game up in a nice little bow.
I'm not. What my point is about the Stuka, just to go back to it though, I don't actually think it's the worst decision ever. It's just an incredibly risky decision. And the risk did not pay off. It's as simple as that. Sometimes you go for risks, they don't pay off. And in this case, he threw it all on a Stuka against a mobile army with no support weapons. And of course it didn't work.
Yeah, and the Vet 3 King Steward as well. Couldn't get it out of there with the old Puma. You really want a good early KO if you've got the Puma versus Steward. But it's just USF's firepower in the infantry department, Matt, especially with this doctrine. Paratroopers, I think, have won the day, because we saw Rifleman get wiped early, looked advantage Elpern, as we see a Volt go down. But now it's definitely much Inca's first game. Be interesting to see which factions they go for in the second one, how much they react or overreact to this game, potentially.
I agree completely, as we've got finally a Panzer IV on its way. It's a little bit underwhelming. We're now Elpern, of course, down to 64 victory points. He's trying to get some level of fuel control, but it's all over.
Does make you think about positioning in the early game, though. Perhaps IncaUna, despite getting pushed a lot on the flanks, always had a solid center. And in this map, Matt, I think that really does win the day for you in Faymanville.
And we just had another squad. Oh no, it's 50 points remaining as the Stern Pioneers. Oh, getting absolutely destroyed here by 4 separate units.
And that's with an early retreat, folks.
Ouch.
Oh, even drops the Shrek. Damn. Oh, P4 comes onto the field just to have a defiant last stand, perhaps.
Yes, Steiner's P4, I'm sure it'll help immensely. Elpern will be on Soviets most likely next. Of course, his Soviets pack a punch with his double Zis combo action. Just constantly Zis barraging your face off. Ed's felt the wrath of that as 2 Shermans meet a Panzer IV and Bazooka and Shrek fire from the lieutenant in the background. Meanwhile, Stuka Zavus could save the day here with a final epic barrage. And of course it misses. In
Oh.
fact, it hurts the folks more than it
Unlucky.
does the allies.
Yeah. He thought to bounce 90 shots in a row and went, nope. And it dies now, but GG game 1.
GG indeed. And I think that's a cool image and visual to end on. Well played.
Keep going, I think.
Yeah. So
If you're good.
Ed and I think that was a nice little start there. Good game 1.
Yeah. We saw a nice early advantage. First wipe to Elpern, first blood in this series, but IncaUna just seemed very balanced, didn't he, Matt? Like nothing seemed too overstretched after that wipe. And yeah, the King Stuart reigned supreme, got back the field positions, and just never let go of the VPs. Really good VP control from IncaUna that game, and it forced he was putting Elpern around the map rather than vice versa. So something for Elpern to try and work on, I reckon, for this upcoming game.
Yeah, you called it. And I also feel like a point I often make in casts about like, oh my god, the elite level mega tourney player was able to cap a victory point whilst the fighting was happening. And if you hear that, you may think it's a silly point because, of course, sending an infantry squad to cap a victory point is basic company heroes. But what you often notice in these confrontations when one player is slightly weaker is the elite player always happens to manage to find the time to do it. And that's the point I make. It's not that he has done it. It's that the other player is not finding the time, and he is.
Sure, yeah.
It's
So it's staying capped for the other player, like the good player. Yeah, here's a really good, it's such a good game design, really, when you think of it. Like the whole VPs, no one goes for annihilation, really, but like the VP pressure is real as well as the resources. And you can't hold both sometimes. And yeah, just min-maxing that to the best of your ability is what this game's all about, and that's why we love it.
Yeah, it's why victory points is obviously the way to play company heroes. So let's have a little look at the brackets elsewhere, see what other series are happening today. Have a little shufty. So our IncaUna Elpern game will face the winner of Quirit's Dutchman. So we're sorted for today. That's epic.
A lot of good games. It was tough deciding who was going to be the first bracket, wasn't it, Matt? But we saw the little jiggling emote from Elpern, and I think that swayed the vote between us.
It was. I'm just going to see what other streams are available as well. We've got Lovenest Bulat versus the winner of Von Ivan Theodosios today as well, so that'll be an excellent series. Orange Pest Findeed versus the winner of Gibber Borabadger. So you can see that we're all heading towards Nagano Lovenest possibly, but there's plenty of prickly thorns on the way that could really cause an upset. For Nagano, you're looking really at obviously IncaUna or Quirit's. He should be able to get past Quirit's, I imagine, because he's basically a better version of Quirit's, and they're both Russian. But IncaUna could pose a problem. That'll be tomorrow, most likely. Most likely. Lovenest, meanwhile, Ed, he's going to be up against Von today. That's never a certainty because those two go way back. And then tomorrow he'll be up against probably Orange Pest, one would imagine. Or maybe Gibber. Probably Orange Pest. And Orange Pest beat Lovenest in the last qualification event. Look at that in the semis 2 Sundays ago. So Lovenest has a harder time getting through to the grand final. He's up against Orange Pest possibly again. And it'll be Nagano or Inca most likely joining them there. So our second qualifier will soon be upon us.
Yeah, great brackets that. Let's just look at all those names, Matt. And I don't know. You don't want to. You don't fancy your chances against any one of those players. So, respect for the amount of quality that signed up for this tournament. Everybody's still at it, don't they? Despite this game pretty old now. Co 3 soon on horizons for a full release, but Co 2 still repping it for everyone, and it's just great to see.
It really is. We've got Theo Von currently going at it. That game's very fresh still. Loving 101st, constantly putting support the Master League and the Patreon links and stuff in his stream. We've had some new patrons today. I won't unveil their names live on stream. I'll have a check in a second. We've got Olvades currently watching Kazakh versus Markov, kind of like an auto match game. Markov's winning reasonably well. He's got 4 Panzer IVs. I'd call that reasonable versus two T-50 boys.
While playing 1943 or something. Splitsing through the Soviet lines, but it might all turn. Maybe Cossacks rebuilding his empire brick by brick behind the rural mountains. You never know. But yeah, both good players there as well. So you've got a lot of top talent in this brackets. And Asherblow as well the week before, Matt. Just seeing that he took 2 games and beat Issy. That's a turn up for the books already. So who knows what the rest of the games are in store. Von Ivan tomorrow, if he gets through today, Von Ivan Loveness tomorrow would be a cracking encounter, I think. But today, Elpern, what do you reckon he's got to do to try and better his chances here against IncaUna?
Use the Zis barrage.
Yeah, just buy a lottery ticket and then you can win. Fair enough.
I've always ragged on Elpern because he often is behind the Soviets, and then he has 1 or 2 or maybe 5 or 6 or maybe 20 Zis barrages and gets himself back into it. So
it always helps. I think that even I know firsthand the pain of that. I think I had a glorious MG42, vet 3'd out of its mind, and boom, Zis barrage deleted it. So. Yeah, if anyone can come back via the power of the Zis barrage, it is Elpern. But yeah, looking forward to this game.
Me too. We're not too far away now as well. We've got 43 seconds. Well, no, we've got even less. Let's get into it. And here's your boy, it's Elpern. He's down on his luck. He's 1-0 down, in fact. But he's very good as the Soviets, I've found in this stream. Some of his biggest upsets ever have come as the Soviets. IncaUna's Wehrmacht, though, Ed, it's fearsome to behold.
Yeah, so is his commander choices. I'm loving this Festung armor doctrine. Could see a cheeky Pack 43 behind the shrubbery in this game. He's got Blitzkrieg and Lightning Warmat, so very mobile second 2 doctrines, and then totally immovable first doctrine if he holds down. So yeah, nice mix here from Ukraine on the old. At least we don't see Jaeger infantry every day of our lives, so it's a nice mix up. Elpern meanwhile has airborne troops, Soviet industry, and partisan tactics, folks. So yeah, any partisan lovers in chat? Then
I don't think we'll see it, will we, Ed? Let's face it, mate. We're going to have airborne troop tactics.
There's a few houses, man. There's a few houses.
Shall I go the incredibly viable super meta commander that everyone plays? It's all about the ram and jam.
Phantom in chat as well. Hitting that 80 hertz frequency on the head. But yeah, here we go. Pioneers in front of the MG42. Textbook play there from IncaUna. Baits the old conscripts into getting suppressed whilst wiring off the green cover mat. So just look at all that. In about 4 seconds, you've had pro play there on a plate. You don't need to see much more, folks. That's how you do it.
Pro play on a plate from farm to door. That's what we're delivering here. And two conscripts versus grenadiers. He's pulling the MG42 back into position. Meanwhile, Elpern's capping in the south with a combat engineer getting his own fuel. Inca has been able to secure his supply lines, however. So we're in for a barn burner here. We know that USF OKW is volatile. It often burns out very fast indeed. Sometimes the brightest flames burn out the fastest. But Soviet's Wehrmacht is a little bit more reserved at first, a little bit more slow burn. And that often gives you a welcome fire that burns all of your bones to ashes.
Yeah, it is kindling well with the old conscript builds. They are unkillable cons, as I call them, when they get 7-man upgraded. And IncaUna's he's gonna wanna set the pace this game again, like he did last game. To be fair, after the 8-minute mark, and yeah, it's all about that P4 timings, that Isildur meta really that kind of came about with Oster. So if you can get one P4 out before your opponent's T-34, you're really singing well as the Oster.
I like the fact that Isildur, because of his insane dominance in the ML era, now everything he does is just like, oh yeah, an Isildur Panzer IV, an Isildur Pioneer, an Isildur...
Yeah.
Look at this Isildur capping!
Isildur, right click, oh my god! Pioneering mouse gameplay.
Exactly. What's Elpern capping here? This is a standard territory point Inca didn't want.
Oh yeah.
So he's capping it. Fair enough. I don't know why, but...
Almost I'm here. It says, want anything from the shops, boys? Just behind enemy lines?
Conscript's forced off in 2 sectors in the north. He's still got 1 remaining behind heavy cover of his own construction in this lovely flower garden Capen's made. Meanwhile, in the centre, we've got conscripts pushing up and taking the victory points there. But the story for me is IncaUna has been kept busy in the north by Elpern. Whilst Elpern's been able to cap a lot, we're also now seeing a mine. This is out of IncaUna's sight lines until now. There you go, the Grens have uncovered it, so he cancels. Nice reactions from Elpern, who's certainly warmed up enough.
MG42 does not have vision though of the mid VP. Grenadiers just not up enough. But this is some good sneaky play from the combat engineers. I think they'll make it home.
He's cutting them off on retreat. I know, he's blocking them in. Oh no, the Grens are making a beeline for the conscripts who seek refuge behind the flatbed of the truck. We do have the MG repositioning. Doesn't quite fancy the house anymore because of its 2 side faces have been obscured.
Yeah, does need to help spot for his MG42, I reckon, in the mid. But IncaUna keeping his Grens together. Going around in a nice little pair there, but does cost you map control. Nice pushback here from Elpern in the east. Gonna hopefully plunk away 1 more model. With a Mosin? No? Okay.
Mosin again said, I'm sorry. They're all bent and buckled and don't work. But they're free.
Bit of a malfunction there on retreat, but luckily the Gren gets home. That's 30 manpower saved for not dropping a model.
Conscripts come here to rescue the fuel away from Inca, who's hungry for oil, it would seem. They do manage to take position behind the heavy cover tractor against the light cover. We do have a rifle nade in. Elpern can't dodge it in full. Actually, he can. That was a really good dodge. My mistake. Sometimes they do not peel away from heavy cover quite that well.
I think he got a bit lucky with that placement, but it does have to retreat anyway, so it gets the job done in the end. But that's 30 munitions. IncaUna didn't really want to have to spend there.
No, and look at this fuel situation as well. Well said on the healing situation. So he's lost a bit of munis, he's lost a bit of healing time, but fuel-wise, Elpern's been able to hard cap the one in the north, and he's had the one in the south for a good amount of time. So this is actually, I would say, slight advantage to him.
Yeah, especially when you got sandbags littering the battlefield because of the conscript build. Nice mine here in the mid from Elpern.
Not just a mine, Ed. There's a nice demo charge on the house from Elpern. IFU
nasty. Good eyes.
Yeah, well, I've got Elpern selected, so it gives me a big detonate sign. So even my eyesight can hit this. And I am now going to declare, everybody, there is a very related hidden Easter egg that has been added to Faymanville, and there is a prize for the first players that can find it and use it in game. So there's an Easter egg related to what we've just been talking about, hidden somewhere on this map, and it's not the random fence panel that Capen accidentally left. It's something much cooler than that, and hopefully you guys can find it. Oh, nice mine! It was a nice mine in the end, Ed. You said it was a nice mine, it ended up being.
I've seen a lot of mines in my time, and that was a nice one. But yeah, well played there from Elpern. Just keeping busy, you know, using those quick fingers to use there. If you're capping a point, may as well mine it up on the retreat. You've got the cheapest mines in the game, pretty much, as Soviets, and it's the most expensive to hit as Oster. And no sweeper yet from IncaUna.
Oh, somebody's already seen it, Ed. I can't believe they've already seen it.
Really?
Yeah, the people, they've already seen it. This is brand new. This is only done on Thursday, but yes. You can now go over the bridge and get a med pack, but if you do, you may get demoed and you may die if you shoot these demos. They're neutral demos to the map. So, well played.
It was good. That was quick. Yeah.
They knew about this before even the players did. I'm like, what the hell? How's that possible?
Yeah, chat don't lie, man. The quickest eyes in the west, but here we go. Oh potential squad wipe against Elpern.
Oh, he's still focus firing, but he's been able to get away. No! There's a LMG Grenadier coming in. How is this not a...
Surely gets it. Yeah, 2-2 finally picks it up and gets out of dodge before the Ziz gun can set up. Good wipe there from IncaUna. Solid play.
Keep an eye on this situation, Ed, with that demo. I tell you, we're going to have to be very careful around this situation. Bomb engineers are pushing in. They've got MG support. LMG Grenadiers are getting awfully close to the demo. Not quite close enough to detonate, however. And yeah, he's going to have an itchy trigger finger soon if this keeps happening.
But it's something also to kind of take away Elpern's concentration as well, because he's got to be constantly looking out when to demo. So it's a bit of thought power used up by both players, but I don't think IncaUna saw it on that little push up the mid. Oh, and the world's fastest med bunker just got built by 4 grenadiers.
What?
So that's one way to use all 4 of your grens. And yeah,
that's cool. I like that. I've not seen that like that. That's awesome. Alright, Pack
really
makes it. Oh, look at the Pack using itself with the shield to stop the. Oh, it doesn't stop it. My bad. Combat's really low there. Tell you what, this MG may actually. No, it doesn't have sight. They're gonna be fine.
Oh, he's gonna skip away on 1 HP. Pack still goes in thinking it's a frontline unit. Don't worry, bro. I can decap, honest.
Rifle nade over the sight blocker doesn't do anything. Neither does this Molotov. They're exchanging very devilish tennis balls here. Volleyball, rather. It's over a high line.
So instead of 7-man unkillable cons, he's going for the more killing conscripts with the SVTs. And that power output might be a good shift now for Elpern, despite losing 1 conscript.
It's amazing. It's very Soviets, isn't it? That in this game you can either upgrade your conscripts so they have the ability to kill, or upgrade your conscripts so they have the ability to not die.
And
oh, he's going for the house head! It's a celebration! Celebration! Come on!
Ba-boom!
Oh! What? Yay! There
Just wanted to see it before he blew away their eyeballs. I like how they all single file traps come out of the house as well, so orderly into their death. Big win there.
The first one came out and said, Wilhelm, Klaus, Nicholas, do not come out of the building. Oh, you've already come out of the building.
The squad is kaput now. He's oh, insta rage rebuild. You can tell a rage rebuild from a normal rebuild, Matt. That one's got some venom in it. I felt that left click from here.
It's almost the timing, isn't it? Like the timing of the rebuild. It just looks like it's venomous.
Oh, there's the grid. Everybody just shut up. Nothing happened.
Now this guy is that child in the family when all the other kids are much older, and you just know he wasn't planned. He's an unplanned birth. Sorry, Nicolaus II.
Good Molotov to deny the fuel here from Elpern, and he gets another double cap hype, 36 fueled out of his mind. He still doesn't have VPs much under control, but he's done very well in the fuel game. Oh, this is nice setup, but doesn't get the shot through. A lot of shot blockers on this map.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he didn't actually trigger the ability and then lose the munitions, which often happens to people. aka me in game. Conscripts versus Pioneers in the south. We've got more pushing in with SVT rifles against the cutoff. I have to say, Elpern's game 2 as Soviets, as predicted, is a lot sturdier. He's having a good one so far.
Yeah, but also IncaUna, you know, did wipe that 1 conscript. There has been a nice rebuild of a conscript from Elpern. Bit of less of a ragier one because he's got way more manpower and fuel. But we really need to see his tier 4 going up soon, Matt.
Certainly do.
The opportunity cost of just floating here, not building, he's losing that valuable timing.
Yeah, look at the fuel of Elpern. It's not great. Yeah. Meanwhile, Battle Phase 2, pretty tight fuel usage.
Yeah, but Ink is on his way. He's got his fuel back under control just now. I would say this is Elpern really letting Inca off the hook here. And not to fanboy too much, but this is the difference when, like I was saying about an Isildur P4, this is the problem because he's so tight on his timings, whereas Elpern is using his combat engineers to do combat, where it's, you know, we all know it's fake news.
Trap, yeah.
They should get home and do the bit of more of the engineering part of their name.
It's like when you give somebody with a low-level position at work, like, facilities manager title. Oh, what's my job? Oh, mostly managing the facilities. Here's a mop. You know. Well, the combat engineers are very much that. It's like, actually, we want you in base with a blowtorch. I'm sorry.
District Area Operations Manager of a closet. But yeah, I think it's a tough game now. Tough game for Elpern. He's still going to have the old ram and jam potential as well with this doctrine, which is hellacious with the tactical IO2. It's tactical, it says, Matt. Wow. Sturmovik rocket run. Although it costs $25 more in munitions, it's still hella powerful.
Conscripts in jeopardy here, but they could actually get a kill. Will Elpern get greedy? Because we've got LMG Grunt. No, he won't. He's going to retreat, but it still might actually bite him in the ass. And, well, several asses, which are now on the floor as cadavers, actually.
TT2 with that kill secure again, though. Don't play Counter-Strike with this TT2. Steals all your kills. But yeah, tier 3 up now. IncaUna about 30 fuel away from, or 25 from good old P4. Finally, Elpern gets his tier 4 up. But look, we're at 14 minutes, man. That's 2-3 minutes he's kind of slept on.
Yeah.
Could have had another engineer out.
It's 90 fuel for a T-34-76, and that's the best tank he can get with this commander. And he's going to be how much fuel behind by that point? 90 plus, say, he gets to 150 or something. Well, maybe 160 at this rate. Let's have a look with the manpower, I mean. So this will tell you just how... Yeah, so... There he is. He's at tier 4 constructed. He's 20 manpower off.
When quick is not so
that's
quick.
150. That's 60 fuel. 60 fuel more than he needed. Because look, he just built it as soon as he could as well.
Yeah.
That's bad management. It really is bad management. Unfortunate for Elpern because he's played very well this game.
I don't think he planned on losing another conscript as well, so that potentially messed up his whole manpower economy there. And it translates to map position, so really good play here from IncaUna.
Just did the maths, by the way. It's 3 minutes and 45 seconds of delay for Elpern. 3 minutes 45 seconds.
Okay, I wasn't 33, so...
Did you? That's good going. That's good going, yeah.
Very, very risk-averse estimate, though. So here we go, with IncaUna, still 2 VPs. How often, Matt, do we just see him chipping away at those VPs? Such good work on that front.
Oh, just excellent. It went down to quarter speed, but that probably tells me we should look
at
at the
I started seeing bullets fly in slow motion. I was like,
bullet
am I on
time,
LSD or is this...
Yeah, indeed. 70 kills for Inca versus 30 for Elpern on the grass. It looks pretty alright. I'll just see that we've got a Zis barrage happening, so we're going to go back live to see... Is it a Zis barrage? No, it's just a shot. He shot him with a gun.
Imagine if the players felt the slowdown as well, man. He can just control what speed they have to play at. 16 times, good luck, have fun.
Vector with the similar joke to you. You went for bullet time, he went for heroin time. So.
Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
That's what floats his boat, you know.
Too poor for that now, anyway.
For that now, anyway. Oh my. So I knew you lived in an opium den.
I'll be a rubbish druggie now. But yeah, here we go with the T-34's first little push straight up the pump. At IncaUna's MG34 could have gone worse for him because he did the cardinal sin of putting it in orange cover, but the PaK-40 and P4 could have got a lot more luckier there, Matt. Oh, if that wasn't one miss, that's a dead T-34. I did think it was a bit face-first technique, which is fine. Role-playing as the Soviets, you know, it's all good. Bursting through the German lines, but thank God there was no Gren there to snare, basically.
Zis pushes up as the conscripts get black, but there's no cover for the Zis anymore, so you're going to have to retreat away. Meanwhile, combat engineers with 1 pip of veterancy, very slow repair speed. We do have the Dushka set up to protect its flanks and 2 SVT conscripts coming in. But they've got capping duty to worry about, Ed, so he's going to leave himself vulnerable in the centre here.
Yeah, no elite guards yet popped out of a wide base. Ooh, good attack ground from the P4. Connects.
Very good. That's the PaK on the road, Ed.
Attack
oh, he missed through the bush there.
Play.
He went around the edge of the building, fired through the bush, and yeah, that would have been an excellent kill. Assassination almost.
Threaded a shell through 2 windows, by the way.
What's it? I thought he went around the edge of the
Precision gaming.
building. I think he just drove to the edge of the building,
yeah.
and it went through that fence.
The big bush,
Sorry, the bush rather. Yeah, it was very clever.
Kind of deserved more there, but Elpern gets away with it. Second T-34 on the build, and this is where you see a bit of the Soviet windustry coming in, as Inca will struggle to get more P4s in time with the opponent's T-34s. But a double pack gun is going to be the counter, Matt.
What's Elpern thinking here? And he's Ura away maybe and Sofra. Oh no, he's got the barrage coming in.
Yeah.
That's what he was thinking, of course. The Elpern comeback mechanic.
Brave stuff here, fighting for the fuel with low HP conscripts, but they do the job with the SVTs. Vet 3'd as well.
Do you know why he's gone for 7-man on this? Because he wants to save the munitions now. He's got 2 T-34s soon, and it's all eyes on the Sturmovik rocket run. He needs to try and snare the Panzer IV, ram it, and then jam it from the skies. And so yeah, he's starting to save his munitions a bit more.
But Matt, it's the austere famous trap. Double MG42, double pack gun. Okay, it's hell to push into, but if your opponent gets a Katyusha, it can all change in an instant. So I think a Katyusha could be the next play here for Elpern, if he doesn't feel pressured by an emergence of a Tiger, let's say, from Lightning Rod into getting the Su-85.
T-34 drives in, 2-2 backs away. Pack gets a shot away. Panzer IV needs to get into position. We've got another pack ready. Where else is he pushing from? No, there is nothing else. It's just a solitary, as Ed says, face down T-34 push. And he pays the price!
Long range shot, yeah.
He pays the price, Ed. This is what you get when you play with your T-34s like this. You lose them.
And he's bouncing to the break of dawn. Shamon, Elpern. That was some suave driving there in reverse. Gets his second T-34 out alive, but big cost there on the push from Elpern. Loses a T-34 pretty much for nothing. Yeah, and the 2-2 survives, Matt. So he saw it all coming with the X division.
Yeah, I'm absolutely amazed by that T-34 push. It made no sense whatsoever. There was no. I think Elpern should watch this back and criticise himself, because that made no sense.
I retract my comment about the Katyusha next. I think he's going to need a good old Su-85 now, and that's such a shame because it's an unforced error. But quick, you got to say as well for IncaUna, for every bad play, folks, in pro level Code 2, there's a good play on the other side. And IncaUna with his P4 was hella fast to react. Wasn't full HP, but he knew the threat. And got it all ticked and tied, under control, thanks to the vision of the 2-2, which stays alive. So that thing's going to be a bane of Elpern's life if he gets to Vet 3.
It is indeed. We've got Combat Engineers crewing a Dushka in the centres. We're going to have double Dushka gameplay now. So we have a little bit more crowd control possibility, but IncaUna's barely lost victory points here. It looks like he's heading to the winner of Kurit's Dutchman at this rate. Save for an Elpern comeback. And we have seen such things happen in the past, so don't turn off this cast quite yet, gentlemen, and possible ladies, because Elpern's proven in the past that he is capable of such feats.
Yep,
well, we're not holding our breath
in the build. He has got the best jiggle peak emote, like I said, and maybe that will will him onto a glorious victory here for the Voldina, but double hit on the T-34. Very lucky that both pack guns missed the first hit. I don't know if they were attacking ground or not, but yeah, Elpern's, despite his losses, Matt, he's actually been quite lucky in the anti-tank department. IncaUna must be feeling a bit peeved about his AT guns, but yeah, tough comeback now on the cards for Elpern if he can manage it.
One Zis and a stricken T-34 versus 2 packs and 2 Panzer IVs. And of course there's 4 Grens with veterancy and LMGs. That's not just fighting uphill, that's fighting uphill with a refrigerator on your back. For charity, you know. There's Elpern's got a Just Giving page. He's raising funds right now because he's got an incredible feat of endurance ahead of him.
Yep. As the wise and prudent Edwig1234 in chat says, he hasn't given up yet, so Elpern must think he can come back. There you go. 9,000 level mentality and mental endurance here from Elpern. He's still sticking at it. for the fans. And he's got 3 cons and a dream map with 1 7-man unkillable con, so never write that off.
Just getting a quick cheeky YouTube thumbnail there as the packs open up in the south. The combat engineers jump in the house, make some bread perhaps, I don't know, milling some flour.
Yeah, pretty cookie cutter build IncaUna was allowed to do in the end. Did lose 1 grenadier, but like I said, instant brought it back, and look at that. Look at those stars, they're like your top pupils in a primary school. Gold stars all around on his infantry there.
On board of some of these tanks, checking out their positioning. Inca's just chilling at the moment. So much weaponry. He's got telemines deep as well. That's probably going to catch Elpern off guard. We do have a sweeper for Elpern. We don't have the same for Inca.
I think we've got a dead combat engineer. Yep, on the south road. Oh, rough stuff. Terminator Grens. A moving to victory.
That wasn't what we needed to see for Elpern.
We do have a 222 sat right next to a teller though, so Ziz barrage over the middle house, blows up teller, blows up 222. I'm calling it now, Matt.
All right, Macaulay Culkin. You know what I mean? A tarantula gets catapulted whilst the paint pot falls on his head. He then stands on micro machines and falls out of the window. Great stuff. T-34 with excellent frontal assault tactics going in yet again. Panzer IV's ready. Zis gets a shot away, but the Panzer IVs are looking so strong.
Oh, such restraint from IncaUna. Holy hell. I would have been blitzkrieging straight in there to finish off the T-34, but solid play. He knows he's got 3 caps, doesn't risk it. I can't tell you how much patience that requires mentally in a game like this. So fair play to him. I think that's the difference between good players and us, Matt.
Yes, indeed, Ed. They know not to lose all of their army.
I see a good trade when I see one, Bobby.
Oh, this T-34's going to die. Panzer IV goes in, but it could be a trap. We have another Zis on the field, don't forget. Other T-34 comes in to help out. The Zis can fire through this bush should he want to. Panzer IV backs away without much more than a scratch.
Double Dushka now from the good old DDs of Elpern, but I don't know if it's going to be enough this late on. It's bleeding VPs like a stuffed pig. Second pioneer for IncaUna, so he's going to be fixed up looking sharp with all his tanks very fast. I don't know, Matt. What do you do as Soviets in this situation?
Okay, this is how you play it. There's only one way to play it. You just try and fight for 1 fuel and 1 victory point for a while. You build 4 T-34s, then you flank and go for all in. It's the only way back, because he's behind on every metric. He's up against a superior armed force. He's got rocket strafe though, and he just needs to chill out a bit, stop bleeding.
Sneaky 200 munis, yeah.
Yeah, he just needs to chill out and just bide his time, then all in push with full health army. It's his only chance back in, quite frankly.
Well, this
that's
is
my
a good
take.
Start, but no, I think that's the best shout I've heard all day, because I don't know. Very confusing game here from Elpern. He hasn't got any of his tanks fixed up to help with this push, but Double Ziz does keep the P4s honest. But that was a good push onto the pack guns. He found them out of position just briefly there, did Elpern, and manages to start capping the bottom VP. Tough game. IncaUna did lock in the old Tiger Mobile, Matt, so we could see some lightning war or some hilarious everybody sprints, including snipers if you built them with tactical
Holy
sprints.
smokes, Ed, man. Let's get to the Tiger Mobile. I'll use my tiger. I'll use my tiger repelling bat spray.
Tell you what, for your YouTube, you should just put all the Batman kind of music and zonk and kapow.
I don't know how we do a Batman related to. Excellent beat usage by Elpern here. This is hype gaming. Right, Panzer IV's are lining up. Elpern's at 67 fuel. He's got a rocket strafe. He's got 2 Zis guns, 2 Dushkas, and 3 conscript squads. He's in this slightly. We have his cheeky rifle laid over the tree there. Conscripts lose some health and a fellow soldier.
Good Molotov here from Elpern. Realizes his Ziz was out of position. Lost a few models though. P4 reversing into battle. Oh, it's not going to chase up the Ziz gun.
Ziz This was ready for the Panzer IV.
3
coming around the
T-34s.
corner. Oh, we've
pretty
got a
much
flank
ready.
coming in the north there.
Yep.
Two T-34s on prioritised vehicle. However, both packs are ready. We've got one coming through the centre. Panzer IV backs into position. They get round the backs. Don't forget about that rocket strafe. 2-2-2 down. 3 T-34s all on prioritised vehicle go through the centre. Elpern snuck up on him, and what a thunderous assault it's been.
But he's got hold fire on one of his T-34s. He needs to get that shooting the pack guns or anything. It's the world's worst ram and jam. There's no ram.
No, he loses 2 T-34s there, Ed. He takes out a single 2-2-2, and the rocket strafe actually did friendly fire damage. Blue on blue. That was not a successful assault.
No, but at least cause some chaos. Look at the map though, Matt. It was a great success for the enemy because he's got a triple cap hype, folks. Let's go. Elpern comeback is on.
About capping your opponent's territory sectors. The unfortunate thing is about capping your opponent's territory sectors is they can also recap them. And if you've not got an army left, it's not a great position to be in. Fortunately, Elpern does still have an army. He lost 2 T-34s. And he's back to 2 now, so.
But it was actually a good push from Elpern. He had to do something like that. Back was up against the wall. And, okay, the execution was a bit sus with the hold fire T-34 the whole time. But, you know, man's trying to control lots of things at once.
Alright. I think it was, if he'd lost only 1 T-34, it would have been okay. But 2 is, he's traded downwards.
They're disposable, man. They're like party poppers for the Soviet army.
That said, he is nearly at 300 manpower yet again. If he gets another one, he'll be a decent position. He was able to cap the central victory point, maintain the south, put a Dushka on there as well, and keep that fuel point.
What is this T-34 drive? He's gonna get snared in a non-favorable position.
One, by the way. My bad.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, T-34's pushed in.
He's
they
lost
cause
2
more
over
chaos.
in the game.
More chaos. Panzer IV backs away. Tell you what, yeah, I think you might be right, Ed. I actually rescind my opinion a little bit there.
It wasn't even Ricky who said it. His rifles ready. Oh my God, we are retired. Worst casters in the world, but we're trying to keep up with all this action. It's great.
I don't care. They're both called Ricky. Do you think I care about that? Like, dude,
he's not called
like,
Ricky. For the love of God, his rifles ready.
I wouldn't even draw attention to that, Ed. Like, they're both called Ricky. What's the problem?
That's the only reason I'm drawing attention to it.
He only lost one
we do like to have a bit of fun here as well in the casting booth. But yeah. This is game on, man. This is like Waynesville. Game on! Bringing back the ice hockey kid on the road, you know? Doubt any Zoomers will know that reference in chat, but... double pack 40. Both have Vet 2, Matt. This is bad. They're going to have a very fast fire rate against Elpern's T-34 Armada.
3 towers have been planted all along this road here for IncaUna. Elpern's pushes have come through the north every time. The one time he's going to change direction, it's going to end in misery. Gren's push up. We've also got Dushka being pushed away thanks to the beach and the overall confusion used there. So Inca's still in a very strong position. Elpern's down to 64 victory points and they're about to start dropping. He'll have to act very fast to get back into things.
Yeah, he's using a Vet 1 T-34 to go cap the north. Really good play there from Elpern. Liked on Facebook. And yeah, just utilizing every little tool he has available in this Soviet onslaught. But, Inca actually has too many troops, Matt, for a Tiger. He's got to go let something die. What a shame.
Faustin on the T-34 packs, get some shots in. So Elpern just saved his game with that secure mode cap in the north, because otherwise he'd be out of it. Panzer IV comes to take advantage. Oh, double Zisses were ready. Panzer IV forced away in the centre. He's got to assault this position. 2 Dushkas in position. We've got SVT cons ready to go in there. In the south, cons are coming to try and cap the southern victory point, but the Panzer IV gets into position and he's up against an LMG Vet 3 Grenadier.
One thing I'd like to say to Matt is I heard so much talk about GG mortars before this series. I haven't seen one. And what would you give for a mortar now for Elpern to smoke these MG34s, 42s even? But here we go, T-34 doing what it does best. Bouncing on the P4's Vet 2 increased armor.
This is what Ed was referring to in the centre. The MG42 is stopping the cap. In the north, the T-34 was able to take the northern victory point and keep Elpern in the game, quite frankly. 36 victory points and slowly dropping, but it is only that slowly.
The painful bit is, Matt, even if Elpern does ram and jam a load of P4s, it's an instant tiger back on the field. Now, IncaUna's got to get these snares going with his double pack guns to secure him the game, but there's still a pip of hope for Elpern here. Great game.
Yeah, as I said, it is a pip, and he starts to need the Vet 2 Panzer IV. If that goes down, that would be helpful. I know a Tiger's going to really hurt him, but it would be good to get rid of the veterancy.
Elpern refusing the ram. He's just going to go for. Oh, he cancels the ram.
Hits the tree. He goes for a ram. It looks like the rocket took him out, but I don't think it did.
That was my driving earlier. Austin Powers. Reverse, forward, reverse. Didn't know what to do. In the end, it's cost a lot. A lot of AFK troops for IncaUna. It's busy microing these P4s. Look at all those little AFK signs at the top. All of Elpern's infantry.
Don't forget 3 Tower mines in the centre as this T-34 goes into no man's land with his pants on his head, screaming, "Please shoot me!"
Oh! Skips away though. 1 HP. What a miss. Did I mention Elpern was lucky with his tanks, Matt? Because he has got away with a murder.
Yeah, he has on the retreat paths, definitely. But and I would class it as lucky because, to be honest, his pushes have not been his best this game. He had a chance to get back into things, but quite frankly, he mistimed his pushes. The one good push he had, okay, he did only lose 1 T-34. I miscounted, but I'd say that was kind of neutral in results, and the rest have been downright trading down, haven't they?
I don't know. He does have a brief triple cap. He's got another T-34. He can pump out more T-34s than IncaUna can ever kill fast enough, I think. So it's still looking pretty rosy for Elpern, despite a hellacious early game and mid game.
I like your.
And you can just tell how tired they are, Matt. They're so tired, these players. You just see how many AFK units there are during all the engagements. That's a sign of mental fatigue.
Do you want a job in accounts? Because if a company like I work for could be going down, you'd be like, listen, your quarterlies may be very down, and we're going to have to let several people go, but you do have £12.50 in petty cash. So it's looking great, you know.
Hey, liquidation's all right for hydration. It'll be fine.
Right, 13-34 out once again. Let's check out how many of these suckers Elpern has built this game now. 6. He's lost 3. Okay. Yeah.
Matt, there's a UFO on the left VP. What is it? I can't tell. I'm clicking everything, man. Going out of my mind.
Demo charge.
Oh, it's a demo. Sneaky demo.
That's cool.
That could be a
demo
squad
that'll
wipe.
catch somebody off guard, you know.
Yeah.
People often just click there and don't expect there to be anything there.
That tactical IL-2, living up to its name, not.
What was that? He just randomly rocket artillery.
Didn't like the house, I don't think. I don't know. But
meanwhile,
still, the VPs.
he's on the retreat path of the Grenadiers in the south. He can't hit the one at 1 foot away. And nearly hits a Tower mine, so close.
Oh, I thought he was going to miss the scatter and hit the teller just to reveal it for himself. But oh, here we go. The prophecy is foretold. P4 to blow up on its own teller.
This is ready. Ram goes in. Can he touch him? Yes, the kiss of death, but no rocket strafe available. He does have the 2 Zis guns, but here come the Grenadiers. 1 suppressed thanks to Jushka. Perfect placement. Meanwhile, a new T-34 goes in. He wants 1 kill on this Panzer IV. Will he get it? 1 kill needed. Vet 2 Panzer IV cannot get it yet again. Elpern's frontal assaults with the T-34s are left wanting.
Well, it's the target acquisition. He fired at the wrong P4. That's got to be heartbreaking for Elpern. And even the best accountant in the world can't really put a rosy picture on this one, folks. That was a good hold from Inca, but again, Elpern found wanting. He does still have 2 VPs in a dream, though, folks. So all the Elpern fans in chat, there is hope.
Did you just find hope? You said you wouldn't be able to after that one. And then you still did. Yeah.
Contradiction gaming. Because he's about to wipe a F3 G42 and it's GG.
G42. He's getting a Zis barrage on the Panzer IVs. He's stolen the MG. No, he hasn't.
Not a man born from his mother can beat a 6-man MG42 crew, but whoa, 4 LMG Glens coming into your picture in perfect unison, synchronized swimming death dealers.
Pally wants an update on the T-34 situation. I'll give him one in a second. Look at the preservation from IncaUna. That's tournament gaming. Now we see Elpern's attempts at a barbecue. Why doesn't mine look like that?
Well, tactical loss of a Pack 40 does allow the big kitty onto the field.
Just what Elpern needed.
Yeah, what sharp claws you have. Oof. As a combat engineer, takes a 88mm to the face to save his novels.
Ernie Yao in chat says, man, T-34 is so disappointing. I think what you need to say, when used like that.
Combat engineers go down on their own mine, Matt. All the AFK conscripts of rage get selected straight back into the fight now. There's been a lot of downtime, idle troops all over the place, but good sweeping here from Elpern. It's finding all the tellers now. This will help his T-34 charges in the future if he gets to amass one more armada.
I am so triggered by people in chat now saying T-3476 is underpowered. They're like one of the best units in the game. You just don't use them like that. Yeah, they're great. I love them. Anyway, conscripts now go in. Dushka watches on. Tiger gets a damaged engine. Hyper, we've got this. Watching over him.
For 2 milliseconds, we nearly went into procasting mode. But oh, the left VP demo, Matt! Oh, I just... Yikes. An LMG dropped on the ground. This is it. This is the comeback we have been praying for Elpern, folks. The most biased casting in town, right here.
This is push up. One less LMG to harass them now. T-34 goes in into Teller Town, don't forget. How have these Tellers not been triggered? Cast is more triggered than the mines in this game.
Untiltable mountains. They can't get triggered.
T-34-7 about to die. Oh, so close. T-34-7 survives for now, Ed. Survives for now.
Bastard. It was bait all along. But yeah, double Dushka's holding that. This water 2 Dushkas looking at the same way. Oh god. He needs to go help the bottom VP. Elpern, please. Stop brain AFK, bliad. Nope. It's he's locked in that brain AFK, Matt. He has ignored the bottom VP. Oh, and the LMG Grens are going to pick up a second. If they do this, it's GG. Yep, GG. I thought Elpern had a chance, but didn't get the old LMG.
This game was over like 19 minutes ago. I'm so glad that you've been hype-casting this. You've been carrying this cast.
2 LMGs on 1 Gren. That's game for anybody.
You've been carrying this cast. You've been making it seem exciting when I think a lot of us were like, this feels over very long ago.
The Vet 3 conscript goes down, defending the VP to the last breath. Valiant display here, but I just think, yeah, a couple of throws of T-34s, and he managed to lose a very winnable game, Elpern. He was in a great position. But that 3 minutes of activity, Matt, just see what it turned into in the late game.
Second T-34 building, 30 victory points remaining. Oh, this is get a few cheeky shots off on the Tiger there, but that's all they are, is cheeky shots.
And the Vet 3 crew goes down, allowing the P4s to do their victory parade.
The enemy is taking our territory.
T-34-7 still alive, don't forget. Just be so epic if he dies, just for the memes.
And as much as we're trying to cheer on the underdog here, you gotta give it to IncaUna as well. It's been textbook level, brilliant austere play from here this game.
Don't forget, the winner of this goes up against the winner of Qualies versus Dutchman, so IncaUna's going to have a tough game after this. We're going to be watching that one next after a bit of a break. For Elpern's finished dying.
Off your pop! Look at you waving away like some unnecessary servant. So harsh,
no,
man.
He's very necessary. He's been a fantastic servant to the community and a great player who's showed amazing improvements over the years, but IncaUna has showed bigger improvements. IncaUna is there we go. This is T-34-8, I believe, about to die. No, he can't find him. Maybe next time.
Can't hit what you can't see unless you
There he goes.
unless you have mega big brain. If he didn't reveal himself there, Elpern, he would have been fine. But he's like, nope, I'm pre-programmed to die.
But yeah, I was saying IncaUna's a big inspiration to tournament players all over the place because he actually tackles the big boys. Teller about to detonate. There we go. There's T-34 8 down. And Elpern surrenders.
Teller OP, GG. But great game, folks. That was a good fun one.
It was
Awesome
fun.
back and forth.
Well played to Elpern. He did very well, and I think he showed that on his day he could have got an Inca. And if that Stuka in Game 1 had hit the Stuart over here, who knows what could have happened in this series. Well played, sir. And you know, maybe, although I do think you should donate to the driver's family fund of the T-34s because a lot of men died today. A lot of men died today. All right, and GG's, guys, and we're going to be watching IncaUna versus the winner of Qualies and Dutchman next. So we're going to go on a break, and thanks for watching.